Hi, welcome to a new video of Power to the Plurals. My name is Emily, and today we'll be talking about the topic of plural. So in this video, I will try to define the word plural. I want to give a disclaimer up front that I am not the person who defines a definition. There was someone in the DID community with a big name who decided to define the word plural and decided that plural means exclusive of DID systems or trauma-based systems. That information couldn't be further from the truth, as plural is an umbrella term for everyone on the dissociative spectrum. The word plural is an umbrella word that we use for everyone who has a multi-conscious experience. This includes people who are disordered and people who are either no longer disordered or not disordered at all, which is very well possible if we look at the DSM-5 and the criteria currently for dissociative identity disorder. Both Brown and the theory of structural dissociation explain that there is a dissociative spectrum. So this is a personal definition, personal video. I'm not speaking for the full community. We did have discussions with the community on what plural means and includes and excludes, and basically doesn't exclude anyone, anything. Anyone who wants to self-identify can self-identify with the label plural if they are multi-conscious. So the first thing I want to explain in this video, well, I already explained a couple of things, but on my notes this week, and it's a long one, but we'll try to keep it short, you shouldn't exclude someone from a community, whether you are part of it or not part of it yourself, or whether you identify with it or not. So what that means is a gay person deciding that a trans person shouldn't be part of the LGBTQ plus community for, I don't know what the reasons is, but yeah, for reasons. That shouldn't happen. That's why we work together with the community. That's why in my group alternation, we have a good admin and moderation team, and we make decisions together as to avoid one person excluding others or one person making definitions that are incorrect. So the other topic that I want to address today is trauma, because obviously it's all about the trauma. Well, in the DID community, that is, not in the DSM. So let's first talk about the weighing of trauma, where I say my trauma was worse than your trauma, or your trauma was definitely worse than my trauma. Whether you got assaulted in a trailer park or a villa, you still got assaulted. There is no bad and worse. It's all very bad, and it's all the worst of the worst. Weighing trauma is not needed because it has the same reaction in the brain, whether it's a small trauma or a big trauma, you still get the same reaction in the brain. Hence, it shouldn't be weighted. Past tense of weighing. Okay, thank you. English. So let's take a close look, for real. Let's take a close look at how the DSM defines how you get a dissociative identity disorder. The DSM-5 says, and I'll put it on the screen somewhere so you can all see it: overwhelming experiences, traumatic experiences, and or child abuse. Overwhelming experiences. Now, I'm not going to define what that means because I'm already defining plural and I'm uncomfortable with that. But I might hope that both you and doctors or anyone else watching this, or anyone else in the world actually, takes that as a very broad concept. Because, as you know, DID comes with amnesia. So first of all, we might not remember our trauma, and then it makes a whole lot of sense to say that you don't have trauma if you don't remember it. Right? Else you're just making things up, and we're all afraid of being, pointed out as you're the person making everything up. That is also part of our disorder, right? The denial and the questioning and the doubt. That's all part of the disorder. So I, on purpose, don't want to give an example of what an overwhelming experience is, because it's not defined in the DSM. And I think by defining it, we're also weighing trauma, because we're making a differentiation between what a overwhelming experience is and what a traumatic experience is. And so I don't think we should do that. The last thing on trauma that I have to say is that Both Freud, Otto Rank, and Wilfred Bion think, believe, and stated that every birth is traumatic for every baby, which means we get into this world traumatized. And then we want to talk and explain a little bit about the three-phase model of therapy. So there are 3 phases in the three-phase model. The first one is stabilization, the second one is trauma work, and the third part is rehabilitation or integration, depending on who your therapist is, I guess. So in phase 1, you build on your day and night rhythm, cooking your own food, brushing your teeth, getting dressed, getting out of bed, meeting your system, mapping your system, communication, cooperation, co-consciousness, and all those things, right? Step 1, phase 1 of the 3-phase therapy is the biggest phase. And it's also something that they often go back to, even though they're already in phase 2. It's clearly stated everywhere that one should not head into phase 2 too quickly, because it will disrupt all the work from phase 1. And talking about trauma too early in the process might disrupt the system too much. So who are we as other DID or plural folk to judge people on their trauma, to ask them about their trauma, to demand that they will look inside their own head and find back that trauma that is blocked off for a very good reason, just so they can be part of our community? We were all born traumatized. We all came into this world traumatized, so that trauma is there. And if your whole thing is trauma-based systems, then please reevaluate what life means in this time and day, right? Because many of us live day-to-day life, and it's day-to-day of overwhelming experiences. The DSM-5 also explains in one of the criteria that you have to be distressed by the disorder, and that it has to bring disruptions in your everyday or day-to-day life. This isn't the case for everyone. Some people feel and believe that their alters, their parts, their headmates, their others, their whatever name you want to name them, right? That those other people in my system are not the problem, but the trauma and the CPTSD is the problem. And the plurality and the being many is not really an issue, or an issue that we can handle ourselves by doing internal parenting, for example. So not everyone experiences distress, but they are multiple. Or maybe they experience distress, but they are tough on themselves, and they are like, it's not that bad, right? Same with trauma. A lot of trauma survivors say it wasn't that bad, even though it was. So why the word plural? Well, there was the word multiple or multiplicity, but it's been 25 years since, the DSM changed MPD, multiple personality disorder, to DID, dissociative identity disorder. And so hence, I didn't feel comfortable with using the term multiple or multiplicity, because it's just very outdated. And also, it's a term made up by psychology. And I don't mean this offensive, it's probably going to come across offensive, but they are still proving that we really exist. We really exist. I'm making this video right now. Hi, my name is Emily, and I'm a PARD, as you call it in psychology, and I'm real. So please stop investing the scare little amounts of money that we do get for research into proving that we exist, because we do. Psychology by now has limited us, dehumanized us, and made us small by calling us parts. And a lot of people with DID did not approve of that term. We are not just parts, and parts also implies that we're broken and need fixing. So the word plural was chosen by the community, by those who are on the dissociative spectrum. It was not a term formed by psychology, which is, in my opinion, very nice, because I think it's very important that we create our own language that we can all feel comfortable with. And that's part of the reason why I make this video, because I want people to explain, I want people to understand that plural does include DID and definitely does include trauma-based systems, and to say otherwise is, untrue and hurtful. So what does plural include? Plural, I will first give the big definition. Plural means, in my opinion, in my personal, non-professional opinion, because it's a word that the community came up with, right? That's why I'm saying non-professional. Plural means everyone, disordered and non-disordered, on the dissociative spectrum. If we look at the list of what plural means, it's a long list, but here we go. MPD, DID, OSDD, DDNOS, dissociative amnesia, depersonalization, derealization, dissociative neurological symptom disorder, trance disorder, possession trance disorder, partial dissociative disorder, secondary dissociative syndrome, UDD, unspecified dissociative disorder. All other people who identify, for whatever reason, as multi-conscious, natural multiplicity, healthy multiplicity, healed multiplicity, non-disordered DID, healed DID, integrated plurals, integrated multiples, or whatever other term you personally want to use. So, to wrap it up, do you have to identify as plural if you are diagnosed with DID? No, absolutely not. Please only self-identify with what you're comfortable with. But what we do ask is that if you do not self-identify as plural or any other term, then please do not make definitions for that community, as you chose willingly not to be part of it. And lastly, I want to redo my disclaimer from the start that I did not come up with the word plural. I did not claim the word plural. It's not mine. It's from the community, for the community, by plurals, for plurals. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day and see you for the next video. Bye, everyone.